Six Siege. I do not play on a team competitively. I am somebody who has only gotten as high as platinum on console and PC. Right now, I'm not even platinum in that. I'm gold. But this is out of love for the game, and I've been a copper before. Whenever I first made the switch from playing the console to PC and had no idea how to use a mouse and keyboard to play, I was a copper. I was the lowest rank you could get, so I know that I can help copper, bronze, silver, and gold players, probably all the way up to platinum as far as mindset and communication goes. Maybe not from a mechanical skill, because I'm over the age of 30, and I can tell you, I've been feeling that decline in the reflexes ever since 24 or so was about whenever I started to drop off. So, anyway, I'm Marty White is the name of the unicorn werewolf. So this is about Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. The opportunity switch headline is how to get the best gameplay experience possible at Rainbow Six Siege and win without being a pro or having top-notch skills and reflexes. And the purpose of this class is to help you get better at Rainbow Six Siege, improve your aim and mechanical skill, increase your game sense, and learn how to communicate effectively. So it says, create your story using Funnelscripts with the Epiphany Brew structure. I just put adventurer here, right? Because, again, I've already told you guys that I'm not a pro, I'm not a champion, I'm not raising the hammer at the Six Invitational person. Absolutely not. I haven't exactly accomplished something like tremendously great in Siege and feel kind of like, it's not that great. So I can't play Reluctant Hero. That's another sort of storyline I could follow. And I'm not exactly playing Reporter yet, although I probably will in the future whenever I reach out to personalities within the Rainbow Six Siege community, reach out to some pro players and get their insights. And I'm reporting on what they're saying, and I'm borrowing credibility, but that's not what I'm doing here. Right now, I am on an adventure to create a comprehensive tutorial that will educate somebody who's, and this would also be how I would sell them into this program if I were really doing it, although I'm not, but I would create a webinar based around 3 false beliefs right now. False belief number 1 would be, I'm in the first person shooters. Why Rainbow Six Siege, right? I've played first person shooters and be like, and I would tell people, here's a real quick webinar on that just so you can see what I'm doing here. I would tell people a story of how I was so bored and fed up with Call of Duty and Destiny because it was just a bunch of mindless running around and you died, you just respawned. It was that. There was something about Siege with the 1 life per round where the stakes were higher and all the angles mattered so much, and it was a one shot headshot death, and it was extremely competitive, extremely tight, extremely as realistic feeling of a shooter as I had ever felt up until that time. And I still feel the same way. There's nothing like Rainbow Six Siege. So that's why Rainbow Six Siege. So false belief number 2 would be that sounds cool, but now I'm kind of intimidated. I'm not a competitive player at all. I'm not a pro. I'm not a personality or content creator. Maybe you want to be, but more importantly, I'm not that good is what you're trying to say, although you would never say that because you're a gamer. After all, I'm on here doing this right now because I accepted a challenge. I was challenged by something that was in this book about not being able to do it, and I was like, hold my beer. So that's what happened. So the background here as it relates to the masterclass is I am on a journey to improve as a player and pass along what I'm learning, what I'm doing in the most comprehensive way possible, so people will play Rainbow Six Siege, the right people, and make the community a better place. So that's what I'm on an adventure for. And if I get any accolades for it, awesome. If I don't, I made my contribution to a known need. There's a problem. Rainbow Six Siege has a steep learning curve. Solution? My tutorial. And then the third part is like, okay, I can probably play it. I can probably find an operator that fits me within that unique skill set ability. But I don't know the maps. I don't know the call outs. I don't know the lingo. Right? So this is who that person's for. And then I'd tell a story about probably trolls. And I'd tell a story about, you know, where I messed up, show some common mistakes or something like that. But anyway, it all leads them to, hey, here's a masterclass. Hey, here's a guide on angles and peaking. Here's big takeaways, biggest lessons. Here's how to choose an operator based off your personality type, how to find the right fit for you. And here's a communication guide. And oh, by the way, there's also a group you can join. So that's sort of what's going on here. A group of like-minded gamers who are looking for the best gameplay experience in Rainbow Six Siege possible. So that would be the story that I'm going to tell. And I'd tell basically everything I just did about the whole, started off on console, mouse and keyboard, couldn't play anymore, even though I knew, quote unquote, the game, like that ever ends. And that's why I love the game too, is because it never ends, right? You level up your skill level, you start playing in the higher ranks, and then your competition gets right there with you. You spend all this time figuring out a game plan in jiu-jitsu, and then somebody shuts it down, and you're like, that's 2 or 3 years worth of, that's how I play the game, down the drain. It's like equivalent to DLC and a meta shift, which is awesome. So that's the sort of things I would tell the story. I'm not going to break that down today. So number one, how to. Now this gets into what Copywriting Secrets has to offer right here. It's like, what does it do, right? This helps you to dominate the competition, which also happens to be what you want to do in Rainbow Six Siege, and win. Important. How to constantly adapt and evolve your gameplay while having the best gameplay experience. I said gameplay too many times. I'm just noticing. Constantly and dynamically improve your skills as an individual player. Win more gunfights with increased game sense. Remember when I told you it was done, but it wasn't done? This is what we're talking about. Learn effective communication strategies to win the game with the power of words. Also, a very important skill to have. Cool how to identify the best operators on attack and defense that fit your specific personality. I might need to reword that. I'm calling them sections because it kind of goes with the theme of Siege, like section, articles, etc., etc. So, title of chunk number 1, how to drastically improve your mechanical skills and understanding. So this is the part where I need to go back, and it's like, sometimes it's easy for me to say this is what it is, and then we can talk about what it does and keep digging and drilling down into that and being able to find out what that means. So I still have to go back through this with that lens, but you'll see shades of that, and I'll show you where it is. But right now, this is very much what it is instead of what it does. So I got some thinking to do on that. But anyway, crosshair placement, movement, got to talk about armor and speed, peeking, pre-fire and recoil management, utility, grenades, and special utility. So the compelling sales copy. Now we talk about what it does and what it means. These fundamentals, what it is, help you pull your weight, what it does, and not look like an idiot by making rookie mistakes. That's what it means. So I've taken some pain away from you. I'm like, here are the basics you need to understand so you don't look like a fool. So, and these are all working titles too, by the way. If anybody has any great ideas, just drop them. If you're familiar with the game, drop them in the comments. If you eventually end up watching this on YouTube or right here, right now, doing it live on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/unicorn werewolf. Anyway, how to manipulate the environment to gain an unfair advantage. That's what it does, right? Environmental destruction, go over soft destruction for barricades, walls, windows, hatches. Hard destruction, talk about horizontal and vertical gameplay, and then talk about probably the specialized destruction operators. Because there's some operators who specialize in destruction or preventing destruction. Learn how to strategically funnel, see what I did there? Funnel easy kills in your scope using environmental destruction. That's what it does whenever you learn that stuff. So, how to tune up your guns and increase your chances of coming out on top. That's what it does, right? That's what you want. And we go over weapon types, the attachments, which break down into grips, muzzles, and sights, loadout management, ammo management, reloading, and swapping to secondary. Find out which loadout is right for you and your team in any given situation, as well as what attachments we'll never use. So, how to gather helpful intel for you and your team. And talk about the compass and key points, your observation tools, the difference between pinging and marking, noise, and specialized info operators. These navigation and intel tips and tricks will exponentially increase your chances of winning even if you aren't that mechanically skilled, which is important because I go through moments. So I go through moments where I'm like, I don't even know if I know how to aim or control my weapon anymore. It's like I've never done this before. That will happen from time to time. So it's all about eliminating those kind of things. How to successfully defend the objective without being too aggressive or too passive. Both of those are problems. And so I talk about the two types of defenders, prepping the site, defender utility, common mistakes, cameras, angles, runouts, and spawn peeking. The number one asset of defense is, of course, time. So there's a lot to unpack and cover about each of these things specifically. These simple defensive principles will help you keep your head, and these simple defensive principles will help you keep your head and make the attackers dead, is what that needs to be. How to successfully attack and execute without getting picked off early or running out of time. So I feel like that's the two biggest fears right there. Is as an attacker is I don't want to die early and have to sit out the entire round watching my teammates. I'd rather get in on a little bit of action. That's fear number one. Fear number two is I don't want to be the last one alive and run out of time because I was not paying attention or something like that, you know. So there's the three types of attackers. The most valuable asset of the attackers. You see, the longer I went into this, the more I started to talk in terms of what it does instead of what it is. Did you notice that? Droning techniques, placement, ceiling floors, corners, walls, how to know what to destroy, counter spawn, peeking, and runouts, action phase, early and mid-round droning, and putting pressure on the objective, and finally executing. And then subsequently the role reversal, when the attackers become the defenders after they plant. Discover the techniques to execute effectively on the objective as an attacker and keep the defenders guessing and screaming. Trust me, that's what you want. And now, that was a 6-part series, so I got a 6-part masterclass. It won't be 6 weeks. I could probably shoot this over a day or two and have it somewhat semi-respectable. Um, so it doesn't need to be drawn out. I'm treating number 7 as sort of like my transitional piece into different bonuses that will be going along with this. So, how to create team synergy, defense team composition, attack team composition, unique operator ability, low difficulty operators, communication, calm, clear, and concise. So, this is sort of like the introduction conversation of like, these are the biggest things that you can do to actually improve as a player that don't revolve around your mechanical skill or your ability to necessarily win gunfights. This revolves around your ability to be a team player and do a job effectively, is what this is all about. So, avoid the mistakes that will cause you to lose before the round even starts, and learn how to substantially increase your chances of winning with these communication techniques. And then I'm going to point them to some tools and resources help you get better results. And I just thought is like copywriting itself. One of the most useful skills you can ever learn. It's how to use the power of words to get whatever you want. It's the art of persuasion. And trust me, you're going to want to persuade with emotion, and you're going to not want to convince with logic. Logic, even though as somebody watching this who's potentially a gamer is like, logically, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I hear you, that guy. I'm not that guy, but I hear you, that guy, and I understand. But I'm not trying to convince anybody to play Rainbow Six Siege. I'm trying to persuade them to do what somebody already wants to do. But anyway, copywriting secrets itself, you got to learn how to lead and persuade your teammates instead of telling them. Like, a good leader will tell the story of what they did instead of telling them what to do. And then really bad leaders tell people, like, they skip right to the how to because this is the logical way and this is what it's already done. It's like, you have to let it be their own idea. And that's a big thing that I'm going to cover in this, but it's learning how to be clear, calm, and concise with your communication in game that sets you up for success. So the next steps is start playing with or without me, win, lose, learn, and repeat, because it's just like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the gunfights remind me a whole lot of striking, so I kind of get into that, do that kind of thing as well. Insert the fitness kickbox and MMA and other stuff into there like that. And big takeaways and final thoughts for the masterclass. Constantly seek improvement as an individual. I know that the person I'm talking to is always wanting to improve. They're always wanting to get better. It's just an innate drive. Learn from your mistakes and innovate on how you can help your team, because that's going to make you feel awesome more than anything else. And dedicate yourself to being a team player. So, I won't, and that is describing happy people right there. So that's where they want to go, because right now they're experiencing toxic interactions whenever they get on. Like, maybe they've tried Siege and gotten their ass kicked royally. Like, I have no idea what's going on and everybody hates me and this is like the most toxic community ever. People run into that all the time, and it's not that the entire Siege community is that way. It's a small minority, but damn, they're loud. So that's why I started my Twitch channel. That's why I started this community, is to get away from that kind of nonsense. And I just put tomorrow as a tentative run through. So it's here. I went through it, and I'm going to save it. Alright, so then you come here to build, and it's going to give you the ability to get the presentation outline, the opt-in page copy. If you were like, if I was to be like, hey, I'm doing this masterclass, come here to register for it all, I need your email. I could do that. Here's the confirmation, the promo messages or promo message sequence, the reminder, the Facebook Live announcement, the stealth closes and PSs, the tweets, the even a paid sales letter if I decided that I wanted to sell it, or a paid video sales letter script, and then data for what you entered. And it'll also spit out your presentation already in slide format, and all you have to do is is just doctor it up slightly, or just a touch, or not at all, depending on what your style is. And then slides for a paid video sales letter. So super cool stuff that you can do. I'm going to just really quickly build this opt-in page copy. I hit build right here, and I'll say R6 MC opt-in, so I know what that is. I'm going to save, and I'm going to view it. It popped up in Notepad right here, so I'll move this over. So now it's like how to get the best gameplay experience possible Rainbow Six Siege and win without being a pro or having top-notch skills and reflexes. So I'm talking to my guy right here. So we'll discover how to constantly adapt, or we'll cover how to constantly adapt and evolve your gameplay while having the best experience. You can use these techniques to constantly and dynamically improve your skills as an individual player, win more gunfights with increased game sense, and even learn effective communication strategies to win the game with the power of words. Heck, I even show you how to identify the best operators on attack and defense that fit your specific personality. In fact, here's just a sample of what we'll answer for you cover. So here's the sales copy part of it, which is these were the sections, right? And much, much more. Don't miss this breakthrough masterclass that will finally show you how to get the best gameplay experience possible with Rainbow Six Siege and win without being a pro or having top-notch skill and reflexes. Register now. So that's just one. So all I'd have to do is copy and paste that onto a landing page if that's what I wanted to do. Right now, for the people who watch my live stream at twitch.tv/unicornwerewolf, you can watch me build it live. And eventually, once I have it all sectioned up and prettied up, I might make it to where people have to give me an email for it. Maybe I'll sell it. Who knows? Maybe Ubisoft will put it in the game. One can dream. So that's going to be it for the training today. This masterclass wizard itself, it really helps you get together your thoughts, because there are so many little nuances about Rainbow Six Siege. It can be difficult to really organize the thoughts and put it together, especially when it comes to in terms of what it actually does instead of what it is, because people kind of get real caught up in knowing the latest, greatest tactic, because the meta is always changing, and then it's like, oh, learning how to do a quick peek flick shot while I'm crouching and proning and repelling at the same time with this dirty angle through two different reinforced surfaces. It's like, just give me the evergreen principles that I can work on every day and do this. So it forced me to sit down and really look at it from that lens, which is exactly what you're going to want to do if you're trying to create a course or anything like that. But this wizard will save you a whole bunch of time, and it is through Funnelscripts. But I would highly recommend, before you jump into Funnelscripts, I will actually, if you catch this video on YouTube, leave a link so you can test drive a headline generator that can help you. But also this book right here, Copywriting Secrets, this is the manual to using the wizards, whether they're in Funnelscripts or they're in the Jim Edwards Method Premium, or if they're on Traffic Secret Scripts or anything else. whenever it comes to copywriting, like, this is the manual to running the Wizards. And you got to know what the right words are. You got to know what the right message is. And it all has to come together. And this is the guide to doing that. So you can pick up a copy of this book, Copywriting Secrets, for free. All you have to do is cover a small shipping and handling fee. Follow the link. It's gearedupinsider.com/copywriting-secrets. And that'll show you how you can get exclusive bonuses and trainings that Jim has donated a gracious amount of time to help me and Amanda out. And we're doing great because of him. He's the person that wrote this book, Copywriting Secrets. I could not recommend it enough, because no matter what you're doing in life, if you want to do the game of life your way, you have to be able to explain yourself and persuade the right people to take action with you and to do these kind of things. This is that book. So I hope this demo has been helpful for you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.